I've been hearing the same thing from therapists everywhere. The phone has stopped ringing. Not just slowed down, it's stopped. And the first thing you do is you blame yourself. You log back into Psychology Today, convinced that you can just find the perfect combination of words and the calls are going to start again, right? You are not the problem. The game has changed and nobody sent you the new rule book, me neither. This pressure is not new to me. I started my private practice in 2005, and by 2007, I was feeling pretty confident. Then the housing market crashed. Suddenly, clients started canceling, and for the first time, I found myself with a calculator adding up the sessions for the week, trying to figure out if I could even pay my mortgage. The identity crisis was brutal. I became a therapist to help people, not to be a businessman counting sessions. I felt kind of like a failure, and I vowed right then that I would never feel this powerless again. I realized that clinical skill and business survival are two completely different things, and I had to learn the second one. What you're feeling right now is the 2026 version of what I felt during the Great Recession. It isn't personal failure, it's a seismic shift. So let's talk about why. So what actually happened? Why did the one platform that was the bedrock for practices everywhere suddenly feel broken? It was a perfect storm of three huge shifts. First, the digital neighborhood got incredibly crowded. Venture-backed platforms like Alma and Headway, they onboarded thousands of therapists, creating polished, managed Psychology Today profiles for every single one. You didn't just get a few neighbors in your neighborhood. You got a series of massive, identical apartment complexes that were built overnight, and your practice is now completely hidden. Second, your potential clients stopped using the front door. For years, we told people go to Psychology Today. They don't do that anymore. They go to Google. They type in long, specific questions like therapist for anxiety in Brooklyn who specializes in EMDR. If your online presence is a single directory profile, you are completely invisible where the modern client actually begins their search. And third, Psychology Today itself is playing a different game. Relying solely on it in 2026 is like relying on the yellow pages in 2015. It might still be a resource, but it's no longer the source. The ground beneath your feet has basically shifted. So here's the actionable shift I wanted to give you today. When the calls stop, our first instinct is to work harder on what used to work. We rewrite our bio, we check more specialties, we swap out our headshot, hoping that the magic combination is just going to be right there. This is the biggest mistake you can make. It's like frantically rearranging the furniture in your house, hoping that somebody new is going to show up. You're fixing the wrong problem. You cannot optimize your way out of a system that no longer is designed for you to win. The solution is to shift your mindset from being a digital renter to being a digital owner. I know what you're thinking. I don't have time for this. I'm a therapist, not a marketer. I get it. So don't try to do everything. Let's just do one thing. This week, go and completely fill out your Google business profile. This is the free listing that shows up in Google Maps and in your local search results. It's the most valuable and often most overlooked digital piece of real estate a therapist has. Fill out every section, your services, detailed descriptions, some photos, maybe FAQs. This is the highest impact action you can take to start building a foundation you actually own. Look, the old way is gone, but the anxiety of a silent phone is far greater threat to your practice than the work of actually building a stable one. This isn't about becoming a marketer. It's about building a system that you control so you can focus on the clinical work you are called to do. And I'll point you toward another resource. I wrote my new book, Make More Offers, specifically for this moment. It's a business book disguised as a story about a therapist whose practice dries up for the exact reasons we're discussing here. It shows you the changes to make when you stop selling sessions and start building a practice model that actually works today. The link to get it on Amazon is in the description here. Start there. Finally, leave a comment in this video. Have you noticed a drop in your Psychology Today inquiries? I'm genuinely curious if it's hitting therapists that are in rural areas the same as in urban areas. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And as always, like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon.